Over the last year or two, my channel has primarily focused on the issues in South America and Antarctica. Usually the two don't have anything to do with each other, but I was laying in bed last night, and right before I fell asleep, something came to me about what these two places have in common. If you go back 500 or 600 years in our history, this was the New World, largely unexplored. And if you were tired of living under the Pope, the Spanish crown, the King of England, King of France, whomever, you had a place you could go. It wasn't safe. The journey was perilous and very difficult, and many people went, disappeared, and were never heard from again. But it was the frontier of the unknown. And at the time, had the authorities of the era known what was here, they probably would have prohibited travel to the New World. And that's the part, I think, that we see that has in common with Antarctica. So many strange parallels between Antarctica and the New World. It's dangerous, that's true, largely uncharted and unexplored. But most importantly about Antarctica, it's out of their reach. And I really think this is the part that drives their policy, meaning the powers that be, on Antarctica. They know that if a breakaway civilization were ever able to find their way to these tunnels, these places under the ice, and they were somehow able to make it work, they would be out of the reach of the Patriot Act. They would be out of the reach of the tax man. They would be out of the reach of satellite imagery from above that watches us 24/7, 365. This might be the last place on the planet where you could be truly free without somebody looking over your shoulder all the time. And it also explains, to my mind, why the Chinese are so interested. It's not the ice or the snow or the rock or the wind. They want to make sure they control it so that they don't see a mass exodus of their populations. And that's why DC and China are shoulder to shoulder, no light between them, in this particular aspect of watching your populations, controlling your populations, keeping them poor, and keeping them promoting the idea of enriching a few, and why social democracy has to be destroyed at all cost. This is why we see Venezuela and Bolivia being destroyed, because they didn't have socialism, where you tax the rich and give it to the poor. They had social democracy, where the common good was paramount. No one was allowed to be a billionaire while there were starving people. But imagine what a life like that would be like. Would it be dangerous? Sure. Living in a place like this, we got different settlements and these large caverns and tunnels and places to live. They couldn't find you. They couldn't get to you. And those people that like to live under the blanket of government-provided security, I suppose you wouldn't like it. That's the vast majority of Americans. But for those few souls that would rather be free, that rugged individualism, this could be the beginning of an incredible journey There would be challenges just like there were with the people that came to the New World. And they found inhabitants as well, just like I think we would. I found a couple new things down here, and I think it just goes along with the hundreds of other things that we've shown. I want you to look at this shadow carefully. Tell me that's not the facade of a building. How in the world could anything at any point in time cast a shadow like this that was not constructed? Never seen a mountain do this. Never seen a hill do this. And there's another shape like it over here. So many things down here that look like entrances, exits, fire, shadows of people. I wonder if this is what they are really, really, really afraid of. This getting into the mass consciousness that there's a place to go. Look at these shapes in the ice. How can anyone look at this and say, it's just beyond me that this is not evidence of intelligence and civilization? There's an area the size of 3/4 of the United States down there, unexplored, officially. And there's a dead giveaway here, and I think this is one of the reasons that I've had so many come to the channel attempting to debunk, attempting to shoot it down. And believe me, this channel is one of the most, I don't even know what the word is they use. Blocked? Shadow banned, I think, is popular. You can type in the word Florida space MA and the name of this channel still won't pop up. It's only when you add the Q, and the only two suggestions that then pop up are Florida Maquis and then Florida Maquis exposed. Nothing positive whatsoever. It's also why I think there's so many channels out there they promote that misspell the channel name, adding the R, the Mar-key. What about this? What about just pure science for science's sake? Tell me this doesn't look like some kind of animal, frozen, skeletal, in the ice. I mean, you can look and you can almost see every little detail here. Giant fin. Another head, another skull of some kind of a being. We've shown so many of these. And if I wanted to, I could probably go reanalyze over and over and over again other things. But back at this other location, there was something I forgot to show. Here's that square shadow. Look over here. Is that not two individuals standing next to each other? It's amazing. It gives hope, that maybe there's a civilization down here that didn't lose some of the technology that we lost over the years. Maybe they have found a way with limited sunlight or no sunlight to farm and create agriculture. And if this were to become something where people knew this and there was a place to go, can you imagine the exodus of people that wouldn't want to live under satellite observation every day? Ironically, this all being discovered by satellites is kind of funny. I think this is what they're afraid of. We would leave. We would leave en masse. And we would find a place that they couldn't get to. Because it's covered under miles of ice. These structures are not the result of wind, ice, rock, and snow, guys. And there's a coordinated effort to keep us away. Supposedly for, quote unquote, our own safety. Or to protect penguins. Really. And I'll leave it there. Google Earth Pro is a wealth. And that this has been out here for 11, 12 years now. And the Florida Maquis is the first person to look at this. I mean, truly look at it in this way, in Antarctica, starting last year, I think is no accident. Like, share, subscribe.